Howdy, hey, name's DK, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're gonna be looking at something interesting that got brought up to my attention since I happen to be watching um a certain YouTuber on YouTube. I'm sure people have heard of Professor Dave Explains. If nobody has heard of him, essentially he is a science communicator who has professionally been a professor at a college over in California and has a bachelor's and master's degree. Now, this guy, he's known for, mostly, he, well, before COVID, he was known very well for his educational videos that helped people graduate school. However, I didn't have the pleasure of watching any of his videos before graduating high school, so I wish I could have used his content before I graduated to, help me understand stuff. But most of the time I watch him for his debunked videos and other discussions, and sometimes for his reaction videos. One such time he reacted to Bill Wurtz's History of the Entire World, I guess, video, where he had a laugh while watching the video multiple times due to how very well put together Bill Wurtz's video was. The reason that Dave has gone and decided to do debunks and other stuff of, like, say, flat earthers, creationists, and other frauds and intellectually bankrupt grifters is because of one thing. The first ever video that he ever made that got flat earth upset. The video titled, "The Earth is Definitely Not Flat." The video is self-explanatory. It explains how the Earth isn't flat, and well, it was an educational video. While he made that video to be educational, and since he was primarily an educational YouTuber at the time, where you'd be able to go to YouTube studios and record educational videos, a group known as Globebusters, that doesn't really exist anymore, decided to try and debunk that video, which immediately got debunked by Dave with a video titled "The Response to Globebusters: The Earth Still Isn't Flat." And then, of course, after that, Dave made the videos on the 10 things that all flat earthers say, followed by 10 challenges for flat earthers, while after that, he decided to, destroy flat earth without using science. Which he did in 4 short videos, which would all sit around 5 minutes, with the longest one being 11 minutes 55 seconds, where he debunked the flat earth without using science by using the moon, the stars, airplanes, and, addressed the conspiracy and how it's not at all consistent. He then humiliated David Weiss on he yeah he yeah he debunked David Weiss, a also known as Flat Earth Dave, on a live stream on a debate. Then brought up 5 worst arguments with flat Earth in the flat Earth debate analysis with FTFE, or Fight the Flat Earth. Then he created one of his most popular videos ever. Eric Dubay sucks at life. 200 flat Earth proofs debunked, which was just a one-to-one copy of Sam Robotham's Synthetic Astronomy Earth Not a Globe book, in which, Eric, in his 200 proofs book and pamphlets and videos, would literally have copy and pasted information in it. After that, he then ruined Austin Whitsitt on another debate And then, of course, was the whole flat earthers desperately dodging a free trip to Antarctica to prove that the Earth is not is flat. Well, not either the Earth isn't flat or is flat by, well, going to Antarctica and seeing if the 24-hour sun does or doesn't exist. Turns out it has and always will exist. It exists at the South Pole as much as it does exist up in the North Pole. The flat earthers will make up any excuse, like, oh, well, they filmed in a dome. Yeah, okay, they totally fucking put a dome down on Antarctica to, fake being in Antarctica for some reason. And none of them noticed that, I don't think any of the flat earthers realized that none of the people that went down to Antarctica weren't shot on sight by NASA guards or military. Because there's a whole treaty where nobody is to take Antarctica for themselves, but yet you can work at Antarctica because the countries that have that treaty also said, you know what, let's do some research at Antarctica. Why not? Of course, he also reacted to the rapping flat earther, quote unquote Lord Jamar, while drinking. He also crapped all over flat earther Lord Jamar while on Godfrey's podcast. And then when the Antarctica trip happened, flat earthers had a meltdown about that. Then Lord Jamar and David Weiss bonded over being humiliated by Dave. Then he reacted to Lord Jamar still whining about Dave humiliated him. Then he mocked flat earthers with ex-flat earther Jeranism, or who used to be on Globebusters. He was one of the 3 guys on Globebusters before he went down to Antarctica with Austin Whitsitt and went, yeah, no, the sun never set once. The flat earth is actually stupid. Meanwhile, Austin Whitsitt, for some reason, still believes the earth is flat, despite having witnessed the 24-hour sun himself. If that isn't convoluting, then I don't know what is. And then when the Artemis mission when Artemis 2 happened earlier this year in April, funny enough, it happened on April Fool's Day, but still, it was no joke. Flat Earthers freaked out about it. And then Professor Dave baited it. Well, he didn't directly. Well, Professor Dave didn't directly troll Flat Earth Dave with the AI images. More so, one of his viewers did that to Flat Earth Dave by trolling Flat Earth Dave with the AI generated images. You know, one of the only good reasons to use AI generated images. To screw with actually stupid people. Then after that, Lord Jamar still has nightmares about Dave. And 11 days ago, he took on the bet of a couple of flat earthers, one of them having apparently being rich, making up challenges for globe knowers to disprove the flat earth theory, which Dave did do. And so they didn't say who was going to get, since the challenge was, if you can prove that the earth is a sphere, then you're getting $100,000. Dave is getting nearly $250,000 from this. And if those flat earthers don't pay up, oh, they're in for some hot water. However, for the subject of this video, of course, isn't about, well, the flat earthers. It's about this idiot. Dioplatanus Ambithius Carson P. Lee. The reason why I bring him into attention is because Dave made a video titled, "My Stalker Troll is Unintentionally Hilarious," in which he goes over this specific guy's YouTube channel and how absolutely deranged the guy is. And the fact is, this guy is still having a downward spiral right now. I'm not making a fucking word up about this. He's still, like, going crazy over, you know, genuinely intellectual people being intellectual, while simultaneously also being a moron. So he's just Wheatley but American, and he looks like those soy jack memes. Gotcha. Now, the reason why I've had this brought to the attention of me is because, well, almost all of the videos that were featured from this Carson P. Lee guy were, you know, his short form videos from that Dave would watch on this hour and a half video that he made today. Well, technically yesterday, but it's 1:17 in the morning for me, so yeah. Anyway, I wanted to go through a bit of more of his recent stuff. And oh boy, does this guy go through the recent stuff. Because this guy posts chronically. Like, if you thought I was bad back when the Rolling Line drama that I had going on back at, like, earlier this year, and subsequently also at the, like, back at the start when it was last year, after the whole Sneaky Steve, like, Sandpatch drama because of Train Div, like, if you thought that was bad, this guy makes what I did look like saints work. But anyway, I commented on 2 videos from this guy. This video that caught my attention that was literally him like pinging Hassan Abi, or Hassan Piker. Someone who, well, the guy that, yes, he's known for using a shock collar on his dog, but he's turned over a new leaf, and for the better. Like, because he reacted to this video, Destiny Loves Genocide. Now, what can I say to this other than the person featured in the video from Professor Dave is a joke? Well, let's see here. Destiny also, or should I say, I'm gonna have to borrow this video for
Hey everyone, as you know,
remember what his name was. Hold on, Dave. Right, Stephen Bonnell. That's his name. Stephen Bonnell. This guy, oh, would you look at that? The 200 proofs video was recommended to me if I move my little thing. Yeah. There's the Flat Earth proofs video right there. I'm gonna situate myself more in this corner. Alright. Yeah, I've got new art. What are you gonna do about it? Anyway. But yeah, this guy, Stephen Bonnell, has an interesting track record. He went from supporting leftist views to going hard right. Like, this guy supports Israel and the genocide that they're causing to Palestine. And I don't doubt that this guy would also support Russia and the dumb shit that they're doing to Ukraine. But again, this video isn't about Russia and Ukraine or Israel. This is about, you know, crazier people. But anyway, like I said, Hassan Piker reacted to that video from Professor Dave reacting to Stephen Bonnell being a genocide-supporting pedophilic asshat. But anyway, to reacting to this video, which apparently got 171 views, probably because of the fact that it's Hassan Piker.
Hassan, you are anti-black because...
Oh, hold on, the video didn't entirely load for some reason. Hold on. Whoa.
So this...
we have It is proof.
Hassan, you...
Okay, here we go. You've got it. Yep, you look up Hassan, here he is.
Hassan...
So, this video was made on July 31st of this year. It was made, looking at the calendar, and seeing that it says July 31st, it was made last Friday. Last Friday? Ain't that interesting? Oh yeah, I actually trimmed my beard last Friday, but that's not important. What's important is how crazy this guy is. Because, well, just listen to what this guy says about Hassan.
Hassan, you are anti-black because you do land recognition and you don't 24/7 talk about reparations. And that's why so many black people are becoming Native American. Hassan.
Yeah. I'm not the only one that watched that, right? Like, I know whoever's watching this video saw that too. And no, I'm not intentionally giving this guy free views. I'm telling you guys to, not watch this guy directly, and instead just, you know, watch it through me, I suppose, because, I don't want you guys to subject yourselves to the torture that this guy, you know, had subjected, like, you know, according to this video and its analytics of 164 people. I don't want more people subjecting themselves to the torture of this guy. But yeah, this video caught my eye because it mentioned Hassan Piker. So, essentially, this guy is calling out Hassan Piker for being a guy that likes... I don't know, apparently he's saying that Hassan Piker doesn't like black people, and also does something called land recognition, and then is also saying that black people are becoming Native American. What? I'm confused. This was a, what, 15-second short, and I'm confused. Okay, but I gotta digress. Essentially what this Carson person is saying is that he likes Hassan. He likes that Hassan is anti-black, and apparently also likes the fact that Hassan does something called the land what again? Hold on.
You are anti-black because you
I can't bear this guy's voice, I swear.
You do land recognition.
Okay, so he says, Hassan, you are anti-black because you do land recognition. I'm gonna look this up. Land recognition. Land recognition is a formal statement that honors the indigenous peoples who are the original stewards of a specific place. Okay. So, according to Carson P. Lee, or Carson Paul Lee, as he's objectively stated in one of his own videos, Carson Paul Lee says that Hassan Piker is anti-black because Hassan Piker supports Native Americans. And so because of Hassan supporting Native Americans, black people are now becoming Native Americans. You can't write this shit up. I can't. I can't. I don't know if you could, but this is the words of the guy that made an obsessive amount of videos talking about Professor Dave multiple times a day, every day, for what I'm guessing is weeks. Now, I've got to say that that's a bit concerning. Why would I trust a guy that says this kind of thing? Well, I commented on his video, friendly reminder, Hassan Abi is anti-Israel and anti-genocide. That was 4 hours ago. Then 2 hours ago, this guy wakes up and says, "Hey, so am I." And then I say, then why do you go after people that talk about how bad Israel is? Indirectly referencing Professor Dave, because he exposed Stephen Bonnell, or Destiny, on that Destiny Loves Genocide video that was posted a while ago. When I saw that video posted, I was like, ooh, this might be interesting. And lo and behold, it was interesting. I'm not saying that Professor Dave's educational content isn't cool as well. It is. I actually learned a bit of Latin, though I'm not, fluent in speaking Latin. I was just watching it out of curiosity because I was like, ooh, what's this? Oh, Dave's teaching Latin. Let's see how he does it. And then I remember that he's of Italian origin. Oh, this guy's good. But yeah, another person on this same video 14 hours ago said Hassan Abi is great, and then nothing but emojis is what this guy responds with. But that's not the main reason why I made this video, even though this is one of those videos where it literally shows how much of a specimen this guy is. It's actually the video above it.
It is proof of a...
This video. Which has, no description, and has been viewed 93 times as of right now. Let's watch this video before actually, reacting to it, because, this is going to be interesting.
It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority, merely because the majority is the majority.
You heard this AI-generated talking head right. The majority is the majority. Yeah. It is. Thanks, Captain Obvious, for defining that the majority is in fact the majority. I totally didn't know what the majority was before making this video. And I totally didn't know that the quiet majority of Rolling Line wants the loud minority to shut up and be decent. But anyway.
Or majority, merely because the majority is the majority.
I'm gonna watch this over from the beginning because I kind of forgot what this AI-generated talking head was talking about.
Hassan.
No, go back.
It is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or majority, merely because the majority is the majority.
So, the entire premise is, it's wrong to think of things that other people agree on, mainly because that big group of people is the majority. So thinking with the majority is bad because the majority is the majority. What? Mind you, this video came out a while ago. I don't remember entirely when. All I know is that I commented on it 4 hours ago and immediately got a response afterwards, which shows you how chronically online this guy is for YouTube. But yeah. This AI talking head is essentially saying, don't believe everything that everybody else believes because everybody else is the majority. Ooh. Okay. Well, I believe that the earth isn't flat, religion couldn't be fucking cared less about, and frankly, Israel should stop fucking around. Because they're really about to find out. Anyway, what's this talking head gotta say?
Truth does not change because it is, or is not, believed by a majority of the people. It is proof of a base...
Truth doesn't change because it is believed by a majority or not. Well, yeah. That is entirely true. The truth doesn't change if the majority or the minority believe in it. We know that we've... Okay, we've landed on the moon in 1969. Artemis 2 got us back up towards the moon. Artemis 3 and 4 are hopefully going to get us on the moon again. So it'll be the second time that the United States has been to the moon. I know good and well the Earth isn't flat. I made a YouTube short proving that the Earth isn't flat by demonstrating that you can't see the bottoms of farm silos and water towers that are under a mile away from essentially ground level. We're not even taking hills into it. We're not taking the topography of the place where I live into account. We're taking into account the fact that, you know, you can't see all the way out that way without something being obscured due to the Earth's curvature. Hence the reason why you can't see the bottoms of shit, why it looks like ships are appearing to disappear over the horizon bottom up as they go further and further away from shore. It's because they're going over the curve of the Earth, but to be fair, the curve of the Earth is so negligible down here on the Earth that you don't really notice it. When you're up in space, however, you can see it. You are able to notice it. And up on the ISS, it's even more obvious. Because, well, the ISS is in low Earth orbit, and you can see the curvature of the planet. Now, of course, I told this guy, hey, that video you're reacting to is AI generated, by the way. He then up and says 2 hours later, yes, and it's a lip movement video. AI is not 100% awful, Luddite. I then go full Professor Dave mode on him and say, Luddite? I love new tech just like anybody else, but supporting something that is actively being used by the government that you quote-unquote hate seems a bit strange, huh? Where'd the whole energy for disapproving the US government in Dave's content go, And it seems as though he hasn't really said anything since I said that about almost an hour ago. Now, let's go through more of his content, since this guy clearly thinks that I'm a Luddite for not supporting AI-generated videos and other AI-generated content in general scenarios. Special case uses, I will absolutely, laugh at how stupid it is. But in, cases such as using AI-generated images to fool flat earthers, I condone it. But, it's limited to that. Messing with people that are grifters and frauds and shills, specifically for the purpose of screwing with them to make them realize that what they are doing is stupid. And this guy, he's not a grifter. He's not a shill. He's not a fraud. He's just crazy. Like, concerningly crazy. Like my first ex crazy.
We
This
have a
is so
dead
scary.
deep sea whale was
I'm
found near
horrified.
Sitka. Second time this month, about 20 feet long. We now have
True.
whales, ladies and gentlemen, coming up from deep sea. These whales obviously are attempting to ascend and get off this planet. If you've ever seen Star
should
Trek
too.
4, you understand that the
So, this video that Carson's reacting, that he's adding on to, or quote-unquote reacting to, even though he's adding nothing of value to this video, is that the original video, which happens to be of a guy that sounds like Alex Jones from InfoWars, that's a notification, from my end. What's essentially happening is, apparently, according to InfoWars, whales are ending up in Alaska trying to get, out of the water, permanently to just ascend. That's what I'm getting at. Sperm whales, humpback whales, whichever of the species was on screen, apparently are going up to fucking Alaska. I'm guessing they're sperm whales because humpback whales are entirely different from sperm whales. But yeah, apparently sperm whales are apparently going up to Sitka to ascend? That's what you're getting at? What is this outrageous crap that you're spewing? This is some chemicals in the water turn the frogs gay kind of conspiracy. And this is coming from a guy that literally just said that the guy on screen, not Carson, but this person on the screen right now, sounds like Alex Jones. You know, the voice of InfoWars. And Carson is now saying, oh, you should do it too, viewers. You should ascend like the whales are doing. Even though the whales are actively not doing that because they're incapable of doing that because they're fucking water-based mammals. They're whales. They're not able to fly. They have fins. They don't have wings. Well, okay. The fins of a whale technically could be counted as water wings, but not like water wings as like those floaties. I mean wings that are essentially used underwater to work like wings in the air, though you're using it in water and not air, but you get the point. Apparently whales are ascending, even though that's not factually true whatsoever. Anyways, continuing this video.
Whales are harbingers of cataclysmic events.
Whales are harbingers of cataclysmic events. I'm sorry? You know, one of the, a relative to the whale, the dolphin, isn't apparently known as such, even though they bully pufferfishes for the sole purpose of getting high because of the toxins in a pufferfish. And you mean to tell me that the gentle giants of the oceans, the whales, are apparently harbingers of cataclysm? And this Carson Paul Lee guy is smiling underneath him with that dumb look. He hasn't had a clean shave or even trimmed his beard in ages. How old is this guy, and why does he look like this? Because this guy makes my frickin' sometimes neglect of trimming my beard look like a fucking dream. Like, it makes, like, this guy's poor self-hygiene makes my self-hygiene look perfect. And that's saying something.
And we'll be looking at Star Trek for signals and goalposts. As we cross them, we'll report that to you. Say they also had a fetus. This is a pregnant whale, and whales don't generally give birth.
This guy, this InfoWars guy really just said that any info that we need for these whales ascending and becoming harbingers of cataclysm, we're gonna have to look to the people of Star Trek, a franchise that is fictional, because, well, you know, Hollywood made Star Trek, and Star Trek isn't exactly, like, factual as a show. Sure, there are scientific things in Star Trek that do make sense. However, this guy is saying that we're going to look to fictional characters from a show that still is being produced today for factual evidence of something that is scientifically not factual. Yeah, scientists are totally rolling in their beds about this nightmare. Totally. They're totally not looking at this video and absolutely laughing at this. Let's see what the comments say. You cannot make this crap up. The irony is four-dimensional. I think this guy is just laughing with hearts. Okay. Then, Info Unlimited said, "Hey, who do you think was the video who do you think was in the video broadcasting? Also, what channel do you think that was?" Tim Heidecker, The Onion, bought InfoWars at auction. Okay. Anyway.
Whales emerge from deep in the sand, black sand underneath the deep ocean.
Also, this guy is also essentially saying that apparently whales don't give birth. Okay, well then how do whales reproduce? If you don't know, if you don't know if whales reproduce, then how do they reproduce? If you're saying that whales don't reproduce, then give me factual evidence that they don't. And if they don't, how do more show up? Also, before I pause the video, this guy, the InfoWars guy, also said that apparently whales rise up from the black sands of the sea. No. No. That's not how that works. Not at all. How does something of that size come out of the crust of the planet, which is millions of times bigger than it?
And sort of from the molten core, but
Oh, apparently they come from the molten core, break through the outer core, the mantle, and then the crust, to then come out from the sand of the bottom of the fucking ocean, to then bring cataclysm, because they're harbingers of the cataclysm, apparently. You can't make this up. I wish I could, but I can't.
we're now seeing whales are getting pregnant left and right, emerging from the ocean and dispersing into the atmosphere.
They're not dispersing into the atmosphere. They are, well, first off, they're freaking whales. Again, this is a whole thing about gravity. The more mass that an object has, the more the gravity of the Earth is pulling on that object. Say, for example, if I were to compare the weight of myself to the weight of my gaming chair. Now, I'm, of course, heavier than my gaming chair. So, I'm being pulled down more by the Earth's gravity than the chair. Meaning that, well, throwing me versus my chair would be kind of hard. But the fact that apparently whales are dispersing into the atmosphere is another objective lie, because whales can't jump that high. They're whales. First off, they have a lot of drag to deal with when they're in the water, hence why they're shaped like that, so they can glide through the water without issue. Then there's the fact that sometimes some whales will go to the surface, and will sometimes jump at surface level food, like plankton and krill, that happen to be up at that level of the ocean to, eat it. And other times they also jump out of the surface of the ocean to, expel of any water that happens to be in their blowhole, which is the main reason why they're classified as mammals, because they breathe through a blowhole, because they're not fish. I don't know how people don't get that. And yeah, when they get done with being on the surface, they go back down into the water. They don't go straight up into the atmosphere. That's not how the gravity works. But this is essentially the whole argument that flat earthers have, where, gravity doesn't exist. It's just density and buoyancy. Well, flat earther, let me tell you this. If density and buoyancy exist, then why aren't things floating up constantly? If the air below us is less dense than us humans, and the air above us is even less dense than the air below us, why isn't anything floating up to the surface of what you're saying is the surface of the atmosphere? Again, because that doesn't make sense. Density and buoyancy exist because gravity exists. The buoyancy of an object depends on its density. If an object is less dense than, say, if something is less dense than something else, like, say, a plank of wood is less dense than an ocean, which, yes, it is, therefore it's going to float. But you can't say that, you know, a metal bar that's the same size as that plank of wood is going to float, because no, it isn't, because it's more dense than the water, therefore it's going to sink. However, if you construct ships out of wood and metal, those same materials that I was just talking about, guess what? Both will float. It's naturally obvious that wood can float, but metal can float if you form it in just the right way. Yes, it may be more dense, but it becomes less dense the more that it's used to make something to, you know, float something, to make something float, or to have itself float. Sperm whales, on the other hand, are, well, animals. They're obviously more dense than the water that they are able to, you know, go in, and they're also able to, you know, regulate how much air or water they have in them so that they can, you know, dive deeper or go up to the surface, therefore ruining this guy's argument of them dispersing into the atmosphere when they do no such thing.
Hopefully on their way to heaven, we'll see. But this is a sign, like I tell you, this is a sign that things are going in the wrong direction.
Maybe. I don't know.
So that was a nothing burger of a video, because it was just the InfoWars making up some random lies. How about this video?
So this is going to be a guided exercise in, how would I put this? Establishing something of a phantom feeling within the monad.
I don't know what that is.
And the
I genuinely don't know what that is. And this is my first time watching this. Because from the Hassan Abi video to the AI generated video that was after it, I've not watched any of these.
pleroma, and thus everything and everyone across infinity. Infinite infinities, even.
Infinite infinities. Well, infinity is already infinite. Because it's, well, there's endless, because infinity is endless. There's no other way to describe infinity other than endless and infinite. And yet this guy pulls out the infinite infinities, meaning that there's endless of something that already is endless. Well, no shit. No shit that something known as infinity is endless. So you saying that there's infinite infinities means that there's infinite of something that is already endless. Meaning that there's endlessness. Endlessness is... Do you see how it doesn't make sense when someone says it out loud? Maybe because you didn't put any thought into it, because not a lot of thinking happens behind those glasses.
And how you're going to do this is essentially recognize that everything that you've ever experienced or ever thought or ever felt, including that idealized hyper meta sort of like weird state, is a lie that you're telling yourself.
So, me sitting down here in my gaming chair to open up Steam, to download OBS, to record this dumbass video of you being this stupid, that's all a lie. me responding to your comments in your own videos being stupid, that's a lie? Okay. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Strip everything down to a absolutely apophatic state, and say nothing is true. Everything's fake. And go completely down the rabbit hole and find the core at the bottom.
So this guy's essentially just saying reality is fake. Okay, that's nothing new. He's also said that Dave Farina is also fake. Dave Farina being Professor Dave Explains, of course. But this guy is essentially saying that everything is fake. Everything I've done, everything I've seen, everything I've heard, smelled, tasted, touched, all of it is apparently fake. Everything I've done is fake. Well, everything we've done is apparently fake. Which, that's a bold claim. The only problem is, where's your evidence? Or are you just gonna not say anything?
The little bunny. And follow it. It's your friend. And it's you. Yeah, it's kind of a lot. Yeah, you're welcome. So this is going to be...
So that made zero sense at all. What this video essentially amounted to is, I'm gonna help you realize some weird thing that I just made up by telling you that everything is fake. Everything you've done is fake. Everything you know is fake. So, knowing that President Trump is an absolute asshole pedophile that is in fact in the Epstein files, has blown one of the other presidents, and has also decided to attack Iran, not once, but for some reason now twice. Well, attempted to do it a second time, only for him to not do that. For then Israel, another country that we for some reason decide to support, despite the fact that Israel is casually committing genocide against Palestine and also stealing Lebanese homes, property from the country of Lebanon, as well as also knowing that the country is also being run by billionaires and one trillionaire that think they own the country because they fucking have the money to, only for that money to not be spread to the middle class, because the middle class is actively working for those billionaires to even have money in the first place, because those billionaires haven't worked a damn day in their lives. That's all lies? Uh-huh. And I'm the Queen of England. Okay, buddy.
Hello. I've just been recently having this word pop into my head a lot. Metanoia. Just looked it up. It's really cool. It's a Greek word and also like a god, I think. But it's like how'd you put it? It's a god that's abstract as well as something that can be personified. It's weird. The Greeks had that word, that idea of like being kind to strangers because they could be a god, Weird shit.
Okay. Well, this is essentially saying that, I don't know, that genuinely confused me. Because what this guy is saying is that, oh, this one word that I thought of just came up in my head, and I can't stop thinking about it. And so I looked it up, and apparently it means it's the name of a Greek god that apparently can't and can be personified at the same time. And it means that, and apparently the whole premise of that is, you never know if your neighbor could be a fucking god for some reason. Well, I mean, okay. I could technically say that my neighbor is a god. A goddamn mistake to society. I've never dealt with a terrible neighbor before. But this guy that I have as a neighbor, has complained for the dumbest of reasons. Like, one time, we were, one time me and my family were out somewhere doing something while my brother was hanging out back home because I suppose my parents apparently trusted him enough to be able to handle himself at home, only for the neighbor to text my mom saying that apparently my brother was doing something over at our place, and apparently he was threatening to file a complaint about my brother being, well, frankly, my brother. He's a teen. He was 15 at the time, okay? 15 or 16, I don't entirely remember. All I know is that my brother was probably messing around with his friends that he invited over, like he usually does, because this guy can't leave well enough alone to have to go and just chill here while his friends go chill somewhere else, like I do, where I have friends outside of my house that, do their own thing. I do my own thing. And meanwhile, my brother just has random parties whenever the hell he feels like it because he feels like it. And then, of course, when my brother decides to do something at the end of our driveway, which happens to be about either an eighth or a quarter mile long, our absolute bum of a neighbor who can't keep his nose out of anybody's business, who happens to be on the county seat, well, not the county seat, but happens to be one of the township leaders, for some reason decides he's going to try and file a noise complaint about my brother doing stuff at like 10 in the evening in the summer when there was no school. Yeah.
Sometimes I pray that I am a naked, disheveled man with a tooth infection spreading to my brain that will kill me in a barren cell, wherein that death will cause great blood and fire upon the earth in the name of the God. Sometimes I
What? That was short.
pray that I am a naked, disheveled man with a tooth infection spreading to my brain that will kill me in a barren cell, wherein that death will cause great blood and fire upon the earth in the name of the God. Sometimes I pray that I am a
So this guy prays.
naked, disheveled man with.
So this guy prays that he's some naked, disheveled guy. Okay. This guy's essentially wishing death upon the planet. That's what he's doing. Like, I can't make this up. I wish this was scripted, but it isn't. This guy is genuinely that delusional and crazy. This guy's essentially saying, "Oh, I wish that I was some crazy old. I wish I was some naked old disheveled guy in a cell with a tooth infection that will kill me if it goes to my brain for some reason. And when I die, everybody on the planet will die." Really? What did the world do to you for you to want the world to die because you happen to have a tooth infection that might spread to your brain and which you say hopefully it kills you? Really?
This song,
Okay,
someone
I am not doing the entirety of that. I'm not doing the entirety of that YouTube short because I'm probably gonna get copyrighted for that, but then again, I don't have any monetization, so go nuts. And by go nuts, I mean go nuts. I'm not giving a shit. Anyway,
should make a song that's called "No, I'm Not a Human," because that would be really, if they were a good musician, that would be a really fire name for a song. Yeah.
This guy okay, this guy is literally just requesting somebody make a song called No, I'm Not a Human. Okay. Okay, this is just... Yeah, I watched this before with a friend of mine, where it was essentially just us, like, taking into account that, apparently somebody made another We Didn't Start the Fire, though this one isn't, you know, one that's been officially released, like Billy Joel's from the 80s, or Fall Out Boys, which happened, well, about 34 years later. This is just some Goodbye 2025, I guess, song. Anyway.
Full Metal
Oh god, Full Metal Alchemist, I guess.
Alchemist is a masterclass in theology.
I can't hear this guy over the screaming in the freaking video, I swear. I am unfortunately going to have... I'm gonna have to, fortunately, skip this video.
I just want to say mystic, spiritual, gunboat diplomacy would be utterly OP on a lot of levels, and I just feel like we should do it to make the world the best place it can possibly be. I just want to say mystic, spiritual, gunboat diplomacy would be utterly OP on a lot of levels, and I just feel like we should do it to make the world the best place it can possibly be. I just want to say mystic, spiritual, gunboat diplomacy.
I'm sorry, I had to hear that 3 times just for my brain to process that. Mystic, spiritual, gunboat diplomacy? Are you... What are you implying? Mystic, spiritual, gunboat diplomacy. What does that even mean? Like... What does that imply? What does that mean? What does that mean? Because I don't know what that means. Like, mystic? Okay, there's quantum mysticism, which is, you know, arguably BS, because it's essentially people saying that, oh, the quantum the quantum this and this is the reason why this and this happens, when that's been factually proven wrong. Huh, apparently somebody decided to text me at 2:04 in the morning for me. I texted him yesterday. And now I have a feeling that this person is going to start making up stuff, but I'm not gonna really care for it too much at the moment. I'm just gonna turn on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, where is it? Hmm. I guess I can't do that. But yeah, this guy, what this guy just said was absolute word salad, so much so that I have no idea what that means.
Hello, this is a video called...
Oh boy, here's one of those crappy audio quality videos that he's made where, you know, the mic has decided to, where his mic decides to, I guess, get covered and therefore sound like crap.
The physics of the sacred, why crop circles happen.
Physics of the sacred, why crop circles happened. Okay, well, let's hear this guy out on why he thinks crop circles happen.
Forget aliens. What if crop circles are actually a terrifying, beautiful harmonic overload of Earth's own life force?
So Earth has a life force of its own now. Okay, why? Since when did Terra have a life force? Yes, I use the ancient name of Earth because I happen to know it. But anyway, why the Earth apparently has a life force?
Yeah,
That's what he's saying. That's essentially what he's saying.
Modern monoculture acts like a giant biological capacitor.
Modern monoculture acts like a giant biological capacitor. That is yet again a bit of word salad, because what is this guy talking about? Modern monoculture. Hold on. Modern monoculture is agricultural practice of growing a single crop species over a vast area. Okay. So modern monoculture acts like a giant biological capacitor. Okay, would you like to show evidence on how? Because when I just looked up modern monoculture, that essentially means you're growing one single crop species over a vast area, like on, say, a big field. I actually have farmer neighbors that grow singular crops every year with the fields that surround my house. Every year they do switch. Like, one year they'll do soybeans, the next year they'll do corn, and I believe they flip-flop between the two. I don't entirely remember what crops they grew this year, but I believe, if I remember correctly, they grew corn. But anyway, apparently growing one singular crop of species of crop per year is apparently a biological capacitor. That does not make sense. Because it's apparently saying, oh, well, if you grow a single crop, it's apparently a big biological capacitor. Yeah, capacitors are actual things that I know about. They're components in a computer that help store energy, well, electricity specifically, being converted from electric energy to chemical energy in those capacitors to then spread that chemical energy back into electric energy into the components of whatever electric component you are working with, say a motherboard to a computer. And yeah, if you store a bunch of that crop after you're done with that crop, after harvesting that crop, you essentially have a big, and you put that crop, and if you put that crop into a silo, you essentially have a capacitor of that crop. That doesn't mean that growing a single crop per year means that you're storing energy.
When telluric currents, piezoelectric chalk beds, and celestial tides build too much pressure, the field discharges. It leaves behind altered clay crystals that should require 800-degree heat and electronics that instantly flatline at the perimeter. The energy doesn't scatter, it collapses into sacred geometry.
I don't even know what to say to this. I genuinely don't. I can barely hear what this guy says. I can't make out what any of this guy says in this video. Not to mention that I can't, because of the fact that the microphone is muffled and I can't hear what he's trying to say, meaning that he's probably trying to talk through the phone case, which, oh god. And then there's the obvious fact that he's just talking straight crap. He doesn't know what he's saying. At least I don't think. And whatever he is saying makes zero sense. As in the comments, this epic realist says, you don't think a few guys with some wheat cutters could have done it? And then this guy apparently says, most of them, sure. Anyway, I've had enough of this video. How about the next one?
If or when someone asks me if I have game on my phone, I say infinite. I have infinite game on phone. Go ahead. And you're welcome.
Ah, yes, you have infinite game on your phone, except for the 64 megabytes of storage you have on your phone. that limits your game storage space to, well, a very small amount, because for some reason phones have decided to have disgustingly small storage spaces, especially with the crap phone that you're probably using right at this moment. I, on the other hand, have a phone that has quite a bit of storage. In fact, I have 64 gigabytes of storage. Now, that may not be a lot, but if I put my 256 gigabyte as a micro SD card into my phone, I would have so much more storage and be able to do so much more with my phone. However, that isn't the case because that micro SD is being used in my PC at the moment, and plus micro SD prices have been skyrocketing because of the fact that companies like Samsung, Micron, and others have decided to jack up the prices of RAM artificially because of the fact that they want to support AI, but not, the normal consumer. Now, I know I'm talking about RAM here, but solid state drives and other external storage that uses solid like not like that isn't like a hard disk drive where it uses like disks, solid state drives and other like hard drives that use like the chips like to like process and store data, those are going up in price because of the fact that these RAM producers and SSD producers are focusing on giving that crap to AI data centers that destroy the environment and also are just disgustingly horrible for people to deal with every day.
If for
So this guy saying that he has infinite game on his phone is dumb.
2,000 years to smooth it all out and explain what he really meant and how it's okay and it's this wonderful, beautiful, symbolic statement of theophagia, etc., etc. But how about it when it was raw, and you were there at the table and this rap went around? It would be, I think, quite peculiar. It's interesting that when the Franciscans reached the mushroom cults of central Mexico in the 16th century, and they said, "What do you call this stuff?" And they said, "Oh, we call it Tiananacatl. It means flesh of the gods." They were appalled, and immediately the Inquisition went to work, and everybody who would admit to that was put to death because it was such an appalling notion, and yet it was an exact formulation of the Eucharistic mystery.
Again, no words. That was straight up word salad, and I have no idea what that was. Plus, it was, yeah, it's a religious thing. Yeah. This channel isn't meant for like religious stuff, but to be warned, well, not warned, but like to make sense of this, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. What I'm not a religious person, even though I have been baptized, I have been confirmed. I suppose that means I'm ex-Lutheran Christian, but that's where I draw the line. I don't believe in God, despite what, my church and any other like religious person in my family or other friends want me to believe. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in anything in the Bible, despite my mom herself saying that apparently the fucking ark is something that was factually used. Yeah, well, where's the evidence of that thing even existing? Because we don't have the actual ark. And apparently the only replica of the thing happens to be in fucking Kentucky. The fucking state where Kentucky Fried Chicken and the Chevrolet Corvette came from. Oh yeah, and the Louisville and Nashville. You know, that one railroad that became a part of the family lines before it became part of the Seaboard system, which then merged it with the chassis system to become CSX. But still, you really want me to believe a book? Or do you want me to believe, or do you want me to, what, who do you think is lying in this scenario? A book saying some random thing, or countless scientifically proven facts that I've been taught throughout this years in school, and more scientific facts that I'm being taught even after the fact? Who do you want me to believe? Them? Or some book says a thing?
In talking about my new book, somebody said that I had gone too far. And I was amused because it implied, from what? You know? It's not like there is a King's X where graybeards in white coats tend the sacred vestal fires of reality. There is no reality. There are only people who know this and people who don't know this and are therefore being manipulated by the people who do know it. This is true, or true enough.
Yeah, this is another video from August 1st. Let's see.
2000.
The previous video was also from August 1st. The video before that, August 1st.
Hello.
The video before that, also August 1st. The video before that, August 1st.
Full Metal Alchemist.
The Full Metal Alchemist video, July 31st. This guy has shown evidence of absolutely spamming videos out by the day.
I just want to say,
This video,
Mystics.
August 1st. This video, August 1st. This video,
If or
August 1st. This video,
2000.
August 1st. This
I'm
video,
talking
August
about
1st.
The people who hold that
This
these
video is also from August 1st. I'm not making up a damn thing about this. This guy regularly spam posts.
the people who hold that these psychedelic substances have no application have very little actual personal experience with them. It's the old story of my mind is made up, don't confuse me with facts. The people who
I think that the whole premise of this short was, oh, the psychedelics are good. Don't confuse me with your bad facts, quote unquote facts, as they're saying, because apparently, you know, factual evidence is less factual than lies that are being told right up to your face, with you literally blatantly not caring that you're being lied to by the government. But okay. Oh, look, another video. This time it's from August 2nd. Oh, so it's the next day and we've already started spamming. Okay. It's August 5th. How many videos do you think he's spammed since then?
One of the central tenets of Elysianism, Elysian thelema, is to cast off the past.
Oh, okay, so we leave the past in the past. Gotcha.
Don't intelligence tell us we in, the strongest of men catch us on the throne.
Terrible lip syncing. Also from the second.
Hide your brilliance and bide your time. Hide your brilliance and bide your time.
This was 11 hours ago, so that would have been yesterday. August 4th.
So I just want to say, my music taste, my playlists are far better than the entire discography of Taylor Swift.
Oh, so this is just a video complaining that Taylor Swift apparently makes bad music, according to him. Well, I've got my own taste in music. I don't essentially listen to Taylor Swift because I don't find her music interesting. I listen to music that's more of the classic rock era because, well, I'm an old head. I was essentially raised on the stuff. Like, seriously, I was raised on classic rock music. Though I have expanded my reach to other genres, such as pop, chiptune, and even country. Yes, there was at one point a time when I absolutely loathed country music. Until I watched Smokey and the Bandit. Then I loved it. But yeah, this guy's basically just saying, oh, Taylor Swift's music sucks. That got in a few comments. Can we see a playlist? They're on my channel and the links. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if they are not publicly visible due to YouTube finding it far too dangerous. And then this guy says, and then another person says, Taylor who? And then he just laughs. Then another person says, Lamau, you talk like an 8-year-old. Laughing. Nice one. Well, he looks like an overly exaggerated 8-year-old's drawing of an old man. So, that is actually pretty accurate.
It is proof of a base and low mind.
Here's the AI-generated video.
We have a
is so
dead.
Here's that stupid whale video.
So this is going to be a guided exercise, and
Oh, it's this dumb video.
hello. Sometimes I pray that I am a naked, disheveled.
Okay. So, this guy has posted so much that I lost my way. Great. Okay, well, let's see someone reacting. Let's see what the hell this is.
Fairness, this would be functionally useful. Forgiveness.
Okay, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Anyway.
Fairness, this would be functionally argument is so
across the species,
poignant,
much like
and
our physical
powerful,
organs and physiological
that I feel like a
stress
lot of people
responses.
just cannot.
Instead,
deal
we
with
observe
it.
the exact opposite.
Like they're scared of that.
Human beings
possibility.
possess wildly different
truth,
opinions
you know?
on ethic,
They can't
ethical
face it
foundations.
in themselves.
Some societies or individuals operate with an extreme deficit of empathy or reciprocity entirely. If biology dictated morality as a hardwired survival script, moral nihilism, radical ethical egoism, or complete moral blindness wouldn't just be philosophical positions. They would be biological impossibilities. The fact that humans can radically critique, transcend, and even willingly sacrifice their biological survival for abstract, unproven concepts of justice proves that ethics operates on a plane distinct fairness.
I have no idea what this guy was saying in the beginning because he was cutting himself off constantly at the start. He was literally talking over himself. So I have no idea what that was about. Apparently he's calling Aaron Bushnell a martyr.
You know, in another world, Aaron Bushnell survived, and that world becomes infinite worlds. Love you. You know.
Okay, but apparently he put martyr in the caption in the description, meaning that apparently Aaron Bushnell is a martyr according to this guy. How about this guy penning yet another person, Darling?
Hey, this is Riz, by the way. Georgina, trying to read Fernando Pessoa together and agree on literally everything and nothing at the same time. Let's go. Let's do it. Hey,
That is not Riz. That is the complete opposite of Riz. Ugh. I cannot believe I just used that fucking word twice in the same breath. Oh, I hate myself. But yeah, no, never say that word again. You're a grown-ass man. What the hell? Nobody wouldn't want to be around you. Oh boy, let's read this comment. Oh, Dioplatonus. I don't know if you'd care, but this kind of content makes me uncomfortable, like all the way back to the Trump's niece. Okay, this is a bit interesting. I guess I'll pause the recording. And we are back from a bit of a pause since I unexpectedly got a phone call, but it's fine. We're back to this guy. Anyway, back to the comment I was trying to read. Like all the way back to the Trump's niece videos or whoever she is, and then briefly the Plato girl and the Marxist lady you invited to the polycule, and especially here with Dot and the Trump niece because they're very young, it seems. I saw the Professor Dave video and all the comments you've been getting. I want to emphasize I'm saying this as an Elysian curious person that's been trying to make your idea, take your idea seriously. Not as a Dave follower. I don't even know him before I didn't even know him before I didn't even know him before I saw your stuff about him. I see the point in a lot of what you're doing, or at least I think I do. But this sort of content just makes my gut feel bad, and my thought is it's not the right way to go if you're trying to get a fellow my better half sort of thing. Or if you're trying to build bridges with like-minded creators, you know, like it could be speedily interpreted the wrong way by women you're tagging. These are my thoughts. Yes, I don't know if you saw, I responded to your reply from around 11 hours ago when you said you had been stewing on my Crowley comments and had some pushback. I think I clarified my thoughts a little if you hadn't seen it because of the deluge of comments. Whether I am comfortable as a Thelemite, I'll still 93 you all day. Meanwhile, this guy had the absolute degeneracy to say, LMFAO, do you know how old I am? I don't care if this content makes you uncomfortable. I don't make my content for you. And then saying, Georgina is older than me. Okay.
Great scene. Might cut through it a little bit. They get home. They hear noises upstairs. Oh my gosh. He grabs the iron. He's going through the hole. Oh my gosh. It's so spooky. Poor Jack. Poor Jack. Oh. Poor Jack. He's so scared. He's ready to defend his home. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's an intruder. Wait for it. Wait. Oh, I skipped through it. Oops. Oh, you like cock? It's a big old cock in your bed. How you like it?
Okay, so, okay. He found a chicken in his room. That's essentially what we're getting at. But anyway, comments. You are young, man. I know you were dealt with shitty cards as a teen. You still have a place in this world/universe. Behind all this unhinged behavior is a funny guy, I can tell. Please ask your family for help. Get properly medicated, seek counseling. This may be your sign from the universe, brother. Laughing emojis from the creator. Meanwhile, this is how a sociopath/psychopath reacts. Laughing at the guy that reacted to that by reacting laughing. Yeah, keep crying. You need a shoulder? You obviously have your feelings hurt. I'm sorry. And then he says, this is how a psychopath/sociopath. And then he does the, oh, the streamers, and then the smiling, blushing face. And then immediately says, this is how a sociopath/psychopath reacts, and then says it again. This guy is, in fact, a sociopath or a psychopath. This was 4 hours ago. How about video? How about we got videos? Bro's dream came true. When will he be famous now? Can I ask, how did you get the burn scars? He has ritualistic self-immolate. He has a ritualistic self-immolation survivor in his bio. Reminder that this guy obsesses over Professor Dave. Thank you, Grandma Dave, for helping with that. And not sponsored, by the way. But yeah. Reminder that this guy obsesses over Professor Dave. Because, you know, this guy's crazy like that. His long-form content is... what the fuck? Okay, that's concerning. This guy has done a... Oh. Okay, let's see what this... Holy description. Alright, let's see here. Soulist, anarcho, anti-realist, playlist creator, EU4 streamer, Thelomite and Thelomic content creator, ritual self-immolation survivor, 76% scarification. Okay, that's concerning. That he self-immolated himself and has scarred himself 76%. Devoted it to all sentient beings in offerings to the highest beyond existence and non-existence. And apparently this guy is an illusionist. But yeah, this guy is weird. You're weird. Like, I'm not even going to click on these due to how weird these look on the surface. Like, 94 views, 108 views. Like, this one was from literally 4 hours ago. Meaning this was done at 3, 2, 1, 12, 11 p.m. my time. This guy videotapes this stuff. It's concerning. This guy videotapes himself doing rituals that involve him hurting himself. This guy has 337 subs, but 554 videos. This guy's pumping out more videos than I do. Like here, if I go to my channel, I've got less videos than subscribers. This guy's got more videos than subscribers by over 100. Hold on, let me do this math, right? If we have 554 videos and we subtract 337 viewers, meaning we might just get the ratio of, we might just get an average of subscribers per videos. Okay, yeah, no. That means there is a 217 difference between his subscriber count and his video count. Now, if I were to divide his 554 videos that he currently has by his 337 subs, he gets a little over a subscriber and a half per video. That's, yeesh. With my content, I've got 43 videos for my 47 subs. I get a little under 1 sub per video, but that's fine. I'm a bit more humble when it comes to my stuff since, you know, 47 subs with 43 videos. I'm fine with that. And yes, I've branded myself as Clippy back when Louis Rossman was doing his campaign of, you know, everybody turn to Clippy so we can protest against, Microsoft's Copilot which, you know, I'm keeping this around. Well, the banner, at least, I'll keep it around for a while. I'll probably change my profile picture. Which, I may as well do. Don't mind the background. It's, pretty cool, to be honest. Let's see here. See if I can find a decent picture to use. You know what? Screw it. Let's use a custom. Let's use a picture that I custom made for myself when playing everybody's favorite bullshit game, Rolling Line, on a layout for the Moffat Road, the Rio Grande. Actually, no. I think I've got a different picture that I could use. That would actually be kind of cool. Desktop. As much as I want to go full tilt with Windows 7, I do love Windows 7 with all my heart. It's an amazing operating system. Its simple design, coinciding with the fact that it's, well, one of the most recognizable operating systems in the world. I can't not be Windows 7. Come on. It's reminiscent of a better time when Microsoft wasn't, you know, trying to be a dick to everybody. Also, hey, the YouTube Short's doing pretty good. My latest short has 18 views. No. Analytics for my Flat Earth video. Ugh. I got less views than I thought. But, hey, at least this video that I recently posted today actually got something. Nobody's commented on it yet because I recorded it literally a while ago. And by that I mean it, because I literally uploaded this, like, earlier tonight. Like, 2 hours ago. Also, I like how my tank top happens to be the color. Like, the color of the icons over here happen to match with the color of my tank top. That is actually a cool feature. I like that. Because it's, like, one of the more prominent colors in this video. Because it's, well, right there in my front of my face. But yeah. That's gonna do it for Carson Paul Lee. Otherwise known as Dioplatanus ambithius Carson P. Lee. This guy is a specimen that should probably be looked into by scientists for a case study. And how he should, well, genuinely get some mental help, because the behavior that this guy is showcasing, even in his most recent YouTube shorts, which one of them was posted 4 hours ago, I think it's safe to say that this guy needs mental help. I hope he gets it. Genuinely. But, anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't, then I guess don't. Make sure to hit the bell for the next time you're to be notified for when you get a new video from me. And with that being said, I will catch up on y'all's next time. Peace.